Welcome back, guys. So today we'll be working on this 1975 Chevrolet C10 original little truck with an inline six. The fuel gauge doesn't seem to be reading, so what we're going to do is we're going to take down the fuel cell, which is under here. There it is. And we're probably going to have to replace the sender, so stick around. We'll troubleshoot. We'll get this thing fixed, and we should have a nice running little truck here with an accurate fuel cell reading. There we go. So now we're on the tank detail, and what you'll notice is these 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So this is the rear bracket. Now we'll move, no, I'm sorry, that's the front bracket. Now we'll move to the rear bracket, and you have 1, 2, 3 down here, 4, so these 4. And that will help your tank, will allow your tank to drop. Don't forget to get rid of your ground bolt. And you may have to cut the sending wire, power wire. So it seems like this may have been touched before, but we'll find out shortly. All right, so I went ahead and made a hole inside this 2x4 female to fit into that male right there. And hopefully it will balance out the tank and we won't have any spillage. There we go. So now the tank is braced. Now we can go ahead and pull out the bolts. 8 bolts, guys, 8. Quick update. I decided to change from this regular car jack to a motorcycle jack, so it's a little bit better, a little bit better balance, and it will help keep this from tipping side to side. Pro tip, don't forget to remove the filler, and don't forget, if you don't do that, then go ahead and remove these old clamps, these 40, 50-year-old clamps that you guys got down here. You also got 2 lines that run, that are rubber, which are these 2 lines here, and they run to the hard lines that go parallel to the frame. But all 8 bolts are out. These are long enough so that they'll flex when I lower this motorcycle jack stand. Stuff should go the right way. Let's hope they do. Okay, so it's coming down. I'm gonna pause right quick to make sure everything else is good, and we'll bring it down all the way. Here's the tank. It came down pretty smooth. Here's the fill neck with the 2 hoses. Vent hose is a smaller one, and then your fill hose, which is a bigger one. I balanced it out right, nothing tipped, nothing got too crazy. And here, somebody was here before. These look pretty new, both of these. So they were smart enough to leave this long and allow the tank to drop. So now I'll go ahead and unscrew these 2 clamps and see what's going on with the wiring. This is a ground that I had taken off, and it was grounded over, where is it? There it is. It was grounded to the chassis. So it goes through one of these holes in the chassis, and it was grounded. So let me undo that, and we'll see what we find. So with a little bit of TV magic, now we have the tank out. That was some fuel that I spilled when I disconnected the hoses here. So we're gonna investigate to see what we find. Check the wires. This looks good. It was connected here before. I just went ahead and cut it off. And this is the ground. So Let's see what we find out. All right, you also want to check your hoses. This hose was in terrible shape. Okay, horrible. So go ahead and take the time, set yourself up for a W, and change these lines. They're terrible. All right. Also here, don't forget there's gas in here. I was reminded, as you can see, it has some spillage. Make some use of some PPE. Go ahead and cut a finger off and put it over these holes. Hopefully you guys know how to do that. Take a minute while the tank is out and you want to give it a thorough inspection. Make sure that there are no leaks around these ports and wipe it down. Why not? So a couple of tools are required for this operation. This is just basically a ring that's sealed on by a grommet or an O-ring. We can do away with this ground. We don't need that. And we're just gonna pick one of these tabs to go ahead and knock it with the screwdriver. And it should start to turn. Should is the key word. There we go. So here's a locking ring. And the sender should be able to come out now fairly easily. As you can see, there's no filter on here, so that could be causing some problems in the future. But other than that, it looks pretty new. The ring over here is not beat up or weathered. So maybe we can try to find the sock filter that goes on there. And we'll also go ahead and test this sender to see if it gives us the 0 to 90 ohms. In the Chevy, 90 means you're full, 0 means you're empty. Alright guys, if you want to learn how to test the sender, you're going to have to go online, YouTube, because this segment is not about that. Alright, so I got some stainless steel forceps here, some medical grade ones. I think I saw something down there that we're going to go ahead and fish out. Nope, that's not going to work. Try something else. Sometimes size does matter to the same. There we go. So this is just a missing piece, or sock filter as they call it. It goes on here. It's not a good design, obviously, because it slips off. That's not factory. So to install this, it's 3 parts. You got your sender, your O-ring, and then your seal. Remember, it goes this way, not this way, okay? So now you're gonna go ahead and reverse what you did before. You're just gonna tap it in until it locks. It'll reach a hard stop. Obviously, that's when you stop. And that's it. Of course, you gotta say that's not going anywhere. Now, this is the ground, which is to go to your chassis. And this is the actual connector that was on the other sender. When I cleaned it, it was actually tan. So we're gonna follow this wire all the way back up to the dashboard to make sure it's consistent and there's no incongruencies or fraying going on. So this simply just goes on here via pressure. Okay. Now, one thing I did notice is that these fittings are actually facing me. The ones on the other sender were facing that way. So it's not a matter of turning this sender around, because this sender only goes in one position because it's keyed. So what we're going to do is, we got plenty of line over there, a 5/16 line and a 3/8 line that will reach and flex around, so that won't be a problem. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and reinstall it, basically reverse what you did before, and you should have no problems. We know this part is done, and we also took care of the hoses that get reinstalled right here. All right, so the sending unit is in, our wires are in place, and we have 8 bolts, 1 ground bolt, and our filler neck to reinstall, along with the 5/16 and the 3/8 hose that go onto the sending unit. We should be all set.